All right, let's see if this flavor is in fact full.
Maker's
from
Mark
Virginia.
full flavor pick from the Virginia Absinthe.
You motherfucker, you stole my joke.
Smells like Makers.
It smells like Maker's.
Smells like Makers.
Yeah, it's this is Maker's Mark.
Caramel, cherry.
Surprised by how much cherry given there's no 46, Dave.
Yeah, no.
There's a bit of 46, and it still smells like cherry.
So for those of for all my viewer who is maybe potentially blind and or deaf, this is a pick that is 22033. That's 2 pure, 2 cuvee, 046, 3 mocha, or is it Mondial?
This is, I believe, a Mocha era.
Mocha era?
This is Mocha era.
Mocha era? Okay.
It's April 21. I think they switched over in May.
Okay.
And 3 spice.
Alright, well, let's dive in.
It tastes like
No
Maker's
finish
Mark.
at all.
It's got a lot of spice all throughout. It's got
It does.
pepper and cinnamon all throughout. Not a lot of oak. It's got sweetness at the very forefront, and then it dissipates.
It's got, I almost get that cocoa nib note a little bit.
I do get cocoa nib.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
the
little.
Mocha stick coming through.
Yep.
Yep.
I actually want to add a little bit of water to this to see what it does, because this one's like thick and like
It is very,
the flavors are very compacted, I would say.
it's also very like opaque.
Yeah.
When you hold it up to the light, you can't really see anything through it.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
Adding water actually took away a lot of the spice.
Let me try it. I'm not one to add water, but I'll give it a little try.
I'll give it. Yeah, I'll give it.
I can't really say that it's better, but like it took away a lot of the spice.
The nose, I liked the nose before adding the water.
I have to agree with that. It was a richer nose.
Yeah, it definitely tastes right from the nose, but
Let's a lot of the sweeter notes come out.
It does.
Brown sugar,
This tastes like a bourbon. Like this
light
doesn't have
cinnamon,
any.
light caramel.
this is nothing special. But
It's alright. That's
alright.
It's
that's
good.
where I put it.
it's
In terms
a,
of makers picks,
it's alright.
solid 5. We haven't been doing your rankings, but solid 5.
Yeah, this is a 5. It's middle of the road. This isn't special. I would be okay with spending $70 on this. I just would not buy a second of this one.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'd buy it and be like, okay, I'll finish this
what's
eventually.
crazy is this is one stave off of the Fine Wine Good Spirits October 2020 pick.
Because all it is what, one more spice?
Yeah, because the Fine Wine Good Spirits pick is 22132
3-2.
rather than 22033.
Well, that
And-
shows how dramatic the changes can be.
And the Fine Wine Good Spirits is fucking brown cinnamon sugar Pop Tart in a
And
bottle.
chocolate fudge finish.
You want me to be. I think that what that has to do with is you do pick the single barrel that comes with these staves. So
This
you
is
pick
one
what the
that
base
is from
is.
April? April of 21 versus one from October of 20.
What I think happened was, Fine Wine Good Spirits, they put a lot more care into their picks. I think they just said, we want these staves and just give us a barrel. I don't think that they put a lot of care into
Right.
what barrel they picked.
They put some care into the profile, but not into the barrel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what
I
happened.
can see that. Because I can see this pick tasting way better than this one does.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember too.
If Fine Wine Good Spirits had made this pick, it would have been for a reason.
Yeah. And I think that because this was an ABC state that doesn't care nearly as much, because let's be real, Virginia's like selection of liquor isn't as good as PA's.
Yeah.
We are a controlled state, but we have a good selection of liquor.
This PA is such a buying power
Yes.
that distilleries love us.
Yes. We're the biggest single buyer from several distilleries. Like Jack Daniels, we are the single biggest
Oh,
buyer
Jack
of
Daniels, we get more than. I mean, in the case of the Heritage, the single barrel rye, it wouldn't have taken much for us to get more than the other states combined.
Yeah,
We got so much of that rye.
Yes. So, and we also
They
have
only made,
like,
a couple barrels, and we got
Yeah.
at least a barrel's worth
yeah.
for
So
us alone.
we have a decent group of people selecting single barrels too. I think
Right.
that the people buying, like picking these barrels, pick a solid barrel and then pick the stave profile and then go with that. A lot of other states, like the
Or
North
like when you
Carolina-
find individual stores, they go and they try some.
Yes. But the ABC states, like North Carolina, Virginia.
They find something that's a fan favorite and they go with it regardless of how
Yeah.
the individual barrel ends up tasting.
And they don't care about the single barrel. They don't taste the barrel. They're just like, we want these staves. We want it fast because we know it's going to sell. Give us this.
And at the end of the day, like, this is a very safe pick.
Yeah.
There's,
This actually completely proves the fact that this is always a good go-to. Because even ones that aren't phenomenal, you don't feel bad spending the money.
Yeah,
This might be my least favorite Maker's Pick I've had.
but I'm still
but-
not upset that I said spent $70.
Yeah, if I would have bought this, I'd have been like, okay, cool.
But as a bourbon, this is a solid ass bourbon.
Oh, 100%. That's the big disclaimer when it comes to these private selects. We're comparing to other private selects.
we've
We're not
had-
comparing to other bourbons.
We've had 13 or 14 at this point.
I have fucking 13 or 14 at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
And for this to rank at my least is still like, yeah, this is my least favorite child. It's still my child.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, I can't really, attribute to that because I don't have a child. What are you not telling us, Max? How many kids do you have, Max?
Oh,
Oh.
I'm actually just Jesus.
Max has all the children, huh? Fuck.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Yeah,
you
a
think
lot
you
of
know
that.
a guy.
A lot of that.
Well,
You think you know a guy.
Yeah, you think,
but yeah, like this is a $70 bourbon. It's worth $70 as a bourbon. But knowing other picks, I would not buy this again.
right.
Agree.
I would wait for the next one.
Like
Or buy from another state.
to give you an idea, I bought 5 of the first Found One Good Spirits pick that came out, and I bought 2 of the second pick. The only reason I bought 2 of the second pick was because I got way more into bourbon, and I didn't have money to devote to 5 of that pick.
Right. So, let me put it this way. I have picks from Maryland, PA, Ohio, New York, Delaware. And I've tried ones now from Virginia, Kentucky, and Kentucky because the Rob Samuels is a Kentucky pick.
Right.
And we haven't had North Carolina yet.
I think we're gonna have a similar opinion about the North
But, like,
Carolina.
I haven't had one where I've regretted it. Out of all the ones I've had from all the different states, it's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool to see how it's different in each state.
Right.
How PAs are always really solid, but generally have the same flavor profile.
I don't know.
They
if
go.
I-
Well, let me rephrase it. They go the same direction. They go for the sweet. They go for the decadent.
Yes, I will
Yes.
agree with that. I will
The,
agree
New,
with that.
the New York one went for the oakiness.
Yep.
The Delaware ones, they picked the store I went to picked multiple. But again, it varies by store because every store can do their own thing.
I have a feeling that store, the owner was very much a fan of Maker's Mark. That's why he had 4 different picks.
Well, they had multiple picks of a lot of different things.
Yeah. So
They were clearly just one of these stores to go to. Atlantic Liquors in Rehoboth, Delaware. Just saying.
yeah, they had.
Don't go when I'm going. I want to buy shit, but like go see them because the more you do, the more they're gonna keep doing these great picks.
And yeah, their picks were solid. Like the 3 is in my It was Atlantic Liquors number 3 that we loved.
4.
It was 4 that we all loved.
4 was very similar to the second Found One Spirits.
Then I think that was the one we all unanimously said that we loved. That's in my top 5 still. I think. I
Oh, yeah.
think I haven't reevaluated where my top 5 lies.
But now we have too many Maker's Mark to just do one lineup of all of them.
We have way
Because
too
we'd
many.
be way too fucking hammered by the end of that.
Yeah.
No, we'll do a lineup.
Just
of,
like tonight.
Do a lineup by state.
At this
I
point,
have
maybe.
enough to do Ohio on its own.
Ohio is hit or miss.
I have 5 Ohio's, and I like them all.
Their newest batch was phenomenal. Their
The
previous
Winter
was
Wassail was good. The previous one was yes, hit or miss.
yeah. So before like
the bread pudding was good.
okay,
I tried a sample of that.
oh, okay,
Oh, and I have the Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends, which is kind of in its own little category.
that one's
We technically have 4 PAs.
yeah,
We have 2 Fine Wine Good Spirits, the Marshall Brown, and the Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends.
yeah. The Marshall Brown was. I think that was better than PWF personally.
Personally, I disagree. But
I've not
That
had
comes
either
down
of
to
those,
personal
so I
taste.
can't speak to it.
you didn't have the Marshall Brown?
I don't think so.
We're gonna have to do another Mark Makers night, like designated just.
Yeah, there probably won't be videos on it because it's all shit we've done.
Yeah. Because you have to try those.
Yeah, you
I
have a good
There's
handful.
a
to
lot
try.
of makers picks that you guys have that I have not tried.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a good handful. Hell,
you
I
try-
hadn't even tried the Honey Crisp Gloss until tonight.
Right. There's just so many.
But let's bring it back to the ABC real quick. So again, proves our point. Never disappointed in buying one. This is just one that I don't think any of us would buy a second of if we bought the first one.
It's a
Agreed.
really, really good maker's mark, but it's nothing special, and that's what I look
So-
for whenever I look for a private selection.
Let me rephrase
Right.
that. It's a really, really good bourbon. It's an average private select.
Agreed.
Yeah.
100%. That's my example.
Again, it's like Booker's. An average or even subpar batch of Maker's Mark Private Select or Booker's, still a damn good bourbon.
Yes.
And it's still worth the money. Some of them, the ones that are good are the ones that hit really well for the price.
and
The
that,
worst ones are worth the price. The best ones, you could justify paying more.
the worst ones are basically single barrels that they don't care to pick the barrel. The good ones
The
are the
best
ones
ones
that,
are the ones people went and tasted or calculated or any number of.
and that comes down to literally any like store pick you get. Like, you can get mediocre store picks from like.
That's why
you know,
Fine Wine and Good Spirits picks I always trust because
Yes.
they clearly have people who enjoy this and know what they're doing.
Mhm. But like, you can get picks from like Total Wine or Liquor Barn, and they're okay, but you know that like, yeah, this was a corporate decision where it's like,
It's like Ryan has not experienced this yet. That Woodford Total Wine pick did not taste like
Yeah.
Woodford Double Oak at all, but it was good.
it was solid, but I think that's just because Woodford Double Oak is just a solid brand in general.
Right. But it tasted not. If you told me it was not Woodford at all, I would have believed you.
I could, yeah.
Meanwhile, I have yet to have a Maker's pick that if you told me it was not Maker's, I would believe you.
Wouldn't believe me? You mean? I feel like every Makers we've had, like, we know
Yeah.
it's Makers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where that's the gist of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Solid, but yeah. that's
solid.
it.
Nowhere near my favorite. It's honestly probably my least favorite. But again, if I bought it, I would have no hesitation finishing.
I will say this, I think it's better than the New York pick.
I would agree with that.
They're close for me.
I think this is better. It's a little more complex than a New York pick.
It's more complex. I just like the flavor profile of it better.
That's fair.
So, to an extent, I agree.
Yeah.
But again, that's where clearly taste lines up. Because to some people, that New York pick or even this one has to be phenomenal.
Right. To somebody.
Not to us. Clearly, we're more for the sweet and decadent Maker's picks.
Yeah.
With the exception of my blend, that oddly enough we really like, despite being on the spicier and oakier side of things.
Oh yeah, no, once we let that sit and marry for like 6, 7, 8
That was
weeks.
fucking beautiful. You didn't get to revisit it yet, have you?
I've not. I tried it the one time, and that was it.
Yeah, it turned into something great.
It's
It honestly
yeah.
turned into something where if it were a private select, I might buy it back above it.
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyway, Virginia ABC. So there you go. You got
Solid.
other makers from another state.
solid choice.